like the attendees to fill in the empty seats because I would like to have eye contact. The seats are empty, you all are spread far away. Okay? The first primary requirement of a speaker is to communicate with each one of you. So since the seats are haunting me, please fill in. Empty seats. Just. Ma'am, why don't you come here? You'll be closer to me. Yes. So someone, just fill in the empty seats. Wherever it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. It is we women who have come from wherever and been here to make a change in our lives and in the society. So please give a big round of applause, thundering applause for yourselves. You all can do better. I'll not start till I'm very happy with your claps. Just give lies. Yes. Do it. Do it. This side. Yes. Ma'am, please clap. Clap for yourself, not for me. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Thank you. You all have energized the room. You all have energized yourselves. And, I spoke with this gentleman who said attitude of gratitude, sir. So I have attitude of gratitude to each one of you who are here to listen to me as the opening speaker. As she said, I'm a storyteller, story coach. I would like to have this session quite interactive. Is it okay with you all? I'm little deaf, okay? Is it okay with you all? Okay, thank you. Thundering, yes. Okay. When I say stories, what are the words that come to your mind? Stories. I say associated words. Let's play a game. Stories. What are the words that come to your mind? Huh? King, queen, fantasy, imagination, whatever it comes to your mind. Happiness, larger than life, fiction. What else? Relativity. Once upon a time. Memories. What else? Stories. Grandma. Childhood. Miracles. Happy ending. Yes. All of us are searching for happy ending. Okay. When I say, ask you a question, who is the largest consumer of stories? Children? 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 So do we have an understanding that in this room, at this present, at this moment, children are the largest consumers of stories? Okay. The research has proved otherwise. It is not the children. It is the adults who are the largest consumers of stories. We consume stories right in the beginning of the day through newspaper. We consume stories right in the beginning of the day through electronic media, news. Okay, we consume stories through sports. We consume stories through religion. We consume stories, women and men, through gossip. We consume stories. We consume stories through every platform of social media. We consume stories through our body language. As in the morning, sir said, a smile. It's the opening of a story that is there in my heart. So this is the way we consume stories. Now there is another very interesting mode of consuming stories which even adults participate. It seems more than children. That is video games and various games. So hence it is a myth that I have busted in a couple of seconds that children are not the biggest consumers. It is the adults. So now we are here on this. All of us who are here, everyone, the youngest of the young participant of this particular convention, we are all born in 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Whatever, okay. Here we are born in 20th century. And we are at present living in 21st century. So by default, even the youngest is 100 years older. So no one can say I'm young chronologically because by default each one is 100 years older. Thus what happens is our thinking pattern, the stories that we tell to ourselves today is so different from stories that we told to ourselves few years ago. We have changed the narration. Each one of us who is present here has changed the narration of stories. The first criteria to be an effective communicator is to be aware of this. What is the story that I'm telling to myself? It's like if you do not have money, you cannot donate it financially. In the same way, if you do not have a story to yourself, if you do not have story of yourself, what are you going to portray? Language, words, communication through words is only 7%. 93% of communication that we give to others is body language, non-verbal. So you cannot say that he did not listen to me, she did not pay attention to me, because what is it you're communicating through your body to others is more perceptible than words. Even a child knows so well, okay, he will listen X to his mother, Y to his father. If there are grandparents, A to Z to grandparents. How does a child know what to listen to whom when we have not verbally told him? Child perceives. If you are teachers and counselors in a room here, same child behaves differently with different teachers. School is same, class is same, classmates are same, heads are same, only teachers are different. Why? It is the 93% what we communicate to others is stronger and more impactful than the words that I tell. So this is what exactly is the story of the women. Since today the topic is women focal point, I would really like to take you all through the journey back and forth. Are you all ready to be with me in this journey for 20 more minutes maybe? Yes? I'm little deaf as I said. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, how to go here? I'm little technologically challenged. Okay, my daughter used to teach me a bit here, teenage year, this way and that way. She said, Amma, you know, and you know how they teach, you know, they know everything, and you know, four languages taught in 30 seconds. So when I tell her to go little slow, darling, you know, I'm not a millennial. I'm in 20th century, so I'm 100 years older. Okay, you're a millennial. So, you know, taught like this. The 30 seconds, the slower is by 10 seconds. So from 30 seconds, it is 40 seconds. And once she told me, Amma, you know, really, you are antique. I said, what? How come you? Then, you know, the favorite line, bless your participants, bless the teachers. How come you can't understand very fast? So then again, you know, really antique. Once I got angry and I said, Anu, maybe your Amma is antique for you, according to you. Remember, she is not extinct. And then you know how teenagers say, oh my God, chill, Amma, chill, be cool. So that's another story. Now, can you all identify who is she? Sania Mirza. Okay, absolutely right. So all of you all get full marks. A grade. You know, just a week ago in Mumbai, Times of India carried her a cover story. Have you all read this? A cover story on her. The opening was, yes, I have become a mother, but that doesn't mean I have retired from my profession. Okay. Has anyone till today one by one है मगर one by अभी हाँ हाँ no one has ever asked Roger Federer, okay, after he became father, are you going to retire from the sports? So why ask me? Okay, this is her story. We are in 21st century, but still we can. The thinking of 18th, 16th, I don't know which century, till today, whereby women's maternity power, women's maternity status is a question mark on the efficiency of her skill. Do you all agree? So this is the narrative. This is the narrative I want to really share with you, because it is not her status as a wife, as a mother, that changes her skill set, that changes her empowerment. It is the thinking of us, what we think. So it is your, we are empowered women. We have to change the story of ourselves that we give out in the world. It is also, let me share, this is just not India centric. This is global. This is world centric. As soon as a woman delivers or she thinks of getting married, like, few years ago when I had gone for an interview. I was not married then, and I went for an interview, and then they said, okay, are you planning to get married? I said, not exactly as of now, because I was, of course, of marriageable age, but yeah, maybe not sooner, but later I may get married. So what is the assurance that you can give us that you will continue after marriage? I was thinking at that time, will you ever ask a man this? Huh? What is the assurance that you will give me that you will continue in this job after getting married? So why ask a woman this question? And this is just not a couple of decades ago. This particular thinking still lingers on. This particular thinking is very present and evident in today's world. So it is us. We have to start a narration that no matter what, maybe we go on a break, but that is a biological break. That is not a break from the profession. We are here for good. We'll come back again when the period is right, when the time is correct. But that doesn't anyway undermine our skill set. That doesn't anyway undermine our dedication, devotion, love for our profession, love for our freedom, social freedom, financial freedom. Just stories. Can you recognize this guy? Baba Sahib Ambedkar. See, I'll tell you about the story of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Baba Sahib Ambedkar was born at that time in a section of Indian society that was called at that time untouchable. Okay, do you all know that? He was born in Harijan, untouchable community. Till he was born, where he lived in the interiors of Maharashtra, from his community, no one ever stepped in the school. No one means no one. They would see the school from a far distance because the caste of their on any person would so-called pollute that person. So he was born in that particular society. He was, I think, I don't recollect the correct this, whether he was 10th or 11th child to his parents. When his mother was carrying him, and a person who had occult power, he was not an astrologer, but he could see what would happen 5 years, 10 years from now. He could see and he could predict. This person having a very strong occult power came to his house. And this person predicted that the child that you are carrying is a messiah to your community. The child that you are carrying is a savior of all the problems, just not your family, but entire community, just not of this village, this state, but of the whole India. He will save each one of you from the clutches of untouchability, from the clutches of being the shadow of Indian society. After his birth, your community will start rising. This was the occult, the prophecy this particular person gave to his parents. Soon this became a wild story. Everyone saying that the woman who is carrying this particular child is the savior. The story went viral. Remember, I'm emphasizing this. The story went viral. The mother started now behaving as I'm carrying Jesus Christ. You know, He is the Savior, the Messiah of our community. Everyone came and adored the mother. Now she was given a special status in the society. No, 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 you will not work because you're carrying our Savior. No, 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 be here, eat this, don't do that. Suddenly now she became Her Majesty. We have one now among us, but that's a different. She was Her Majesty of that time. The child was born. Now since the child, the 10th or 11th child is not born to this family, Ambedkar family, the Savior is born in Ambedkar family. The Messiah is born in Ambedkar family. Now the thinking began, how can we give him the education? What can we do so that he becomes a real Savior in real time? They all started, they went to kings, they went to queens, they knocked every door that was available for him to study. No stone was left unturned. Soon he was, of course, he had to face kind of ostracism of that, but not to a great extent, because as soon as he would come back in his community at home, he was the King of Kings. He was made to believe that we are with you. Don't worry. Go out there, study. Go out there, study. They had no money because they were not paid. The community was not paid. It was barter system, for them. So they did not have cash. But what I want to say is, the story that they believed in turned true. He just did not study in India. The community went to Gaikwads, Scindias of Gaikwads. They said, please send him. We want him to study. It is not he wants. Of course, he wanted, but the community wanted him to study. They said, let someone from our community also go to London to study barrister. The universe helped. He went to London, became the barrister, and came. So this is, as mothers, as teachers, as a woman, as a sister, as a friend, or whatever it is, if we have that kind of unstinted, unrelentless belief in us, we can indeed move the universe to bless us, to realize our fruit. This is her story, a mother's story, a community story to do that. Now again, can you all identify here? Shivaji and Mother Jijabai. Again the same. Again same. Father Shahaji Bhosle was indeed a fine, absolutely fine warrior, absolutely fine statesman. And for hundreds of years, Maharashtra was under Mughals. We had no independence. Mother said, my brothers, my father, my husband, fine historians, fine statesmen, fine warriors, fine horsemen, fine in every sphere of warfare, having brains, but yet we are slaves. Only through stories, she made him believe that yes, you can raise an army and fight against Mughals. They had no money at all. Just the story that mother told the son constantly made him believe that yes, I can be Ram, I can be Krishna, I can be Arjun, I can be whatever I want. Why? Why? To liberate Maharashtra from the clutches of Mughal, to establish independence. The similarity between two stories is such kind of firm belief brought success in story 1 and brought success in story 2. There is another similarity which I will come to it. Can you all recognize her? Okay. Why I have chosen her? Because she's contemporary. She's at present living and she's at present within us. She's amongst us. She is a living legend, which she's definitely going to leave imprint in the history, just not of Maharashtra, India, but of the world. Again, she was born in Adivasi community, if you all know. She was married at the age of 10 to a man who was 20 years senior to her. 30. When she married him, he was 30. And when she was even a teenage, she was a mother. She was pregnant. And husband, she was beautiful, she was friendly, she wanted to help, and she already had that particular genes very dominant in her, the quality to uplift her, because she was not happy with her state of where she lived. So her husband suspected having affair with someone else, and even though she was carrying, he just said, leave my house right now. Sadly, she had to leave. No money, no proper strength, she left. She delivered somewhere under a tree, and she, with the help of stone, she cut the umbilical cord. It's a living story. It's at present. She's a living legend. Living. But that did not deter her from helping others. She said, this is my state. My child is very innocent, and I see so much of sadness around me. I feel I am blessed. At least now I am a young woman. I have the energy to work, to help myself and my child. And she resolved that I will not marry my daughter when she was 10. I will not stop her from giving her a good education, whatever it is. She will study. She worked hard, she worked tirelessly, and she went. She, while she was on the street, she lived at railway street. She lived everywhere, in a rain, sun, anything. She braved every weather. She said, and when during her interview, she said, I did know I'm not sad about the physical weather that I had to brave. What saddened me at that time was the emotional weather that people threw at me. No one helped, no one rendered. And she had to really fight very hard for that. Even when she was having every difficulty, she met orphans, she made them her child. She met another orphan, she adopted her. And see, what happened was story 1, story 2, this is story 3. In all 3 stories, we had one goodness, that is goodness not just for yourself, goodness for the others, goodness for the community. The universe helped each one because their focus was not I become rich, I become successful, I become powerful. I am the instrument to help others. I am the instrument to uplift the community. Through me, I want to do goodness for others. This is what happened in all the 3 stories. And dear friends, we women are absolutely, our emotions forgive, for nurture, for love is deeper than Mariana Trench, the deepest point on this planet. Do you all agree? I'm deaf. Do you all agree? Thank you. Thank you. This is it. We all have heard of Rani Ki Jhansi. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you all have heard of Abaka. Have you all heard of Abaka? Okay. She was born in a royal family in Mangalore, called little away from Mangalore, few hours away from Mangalore, from a small village. Even today, it's not a very big village, called Ullal. She was born there. She was married to King Banaraja of Mangalore. She went there, and that's when, during, I wrote there a year because that's where Portuguese had conquered Goa and they wanted to expand the kingdom. They went down to Mangalore and they wanted to capture Mangalore. Her husband agreed with the Portuguese king at that time that I'm surrendering, because he knew the flourishing kingdom of Goa and he was afraid to fight. He said, before he came, I'm surrendering and you can take Mangalore as your territory. She at that time disagreed with her husband. She said, how can you surrender even without giving a fight to them? They are powerful. No, you cannot surrender. Let us fight. Let us ignite fire in our men. Why do you accept defeat? But her husband, that time he said, no, I'm the king and I'm the power. Power lies in me. I'm not going to listen to you. She said, come on, you may be the king, I'm the queen. I have the power too. He said, you cannot, because king's superiority matters when king is alive, when I'm the ruling king. Fine. She at that time said, I leave you. In other words, in today's word, I dump you. Okay, she said, I leave you. She dumped him at this time. She said, now I am the princess of Ullal. She said, she went to Ullal, she told her parents that I have left my husband for the freedom of my people. Okay, again the common thread. Not for herself. It's not that her husband did anything to her. Her husband was a good, the king was good husband. But she felt he was not a good king to the subjects. She said, people come first, then my status as a queen. I don't want to be the queen. So she is not actually called as queen of Mangalore because she dumped him. She went to Ullal. She requested her parents and the community of Ullal that maybe we are in Ullal, but if today Portuguese come to Mangalore, it will not take a long time to come to Ullal. So Mangalore may not be ours, but people are ours. She ignited, she fought. She did not win, but what is important is she fought. At that time, she had the courage to leave her husband for the goodness and welfare of the subject. That is what is needed. How many of us today in 21st century have this kind of courage? Huh? I'm not asking answer. Let's reflect in ourselves. Really, do we have that kind of courage? Because she had to go against the entire community when she left her husband. So do we have that kind of courage today? That is the question we need to ask. That is the answer we need to find. That is the thread we need to connect with ourselves. Are you all enjoying? She is Margaret Knight from England. Again in 19th century, she is the one who came up with this bag. Today that we have bag with the flat bottom, she was the one she came up with. When she came up with this bag in US, her fellow, she was working in a company, her fellow said, I have done this. But she said, no, I have the design, I have a prototype, it's I. And the reason why he said, I have done this, to the court he said, a woman cannot come up with this kind of brilliant idea. It is a man only who can come up with brilliant ideas. Women's job is execution. Man's job is to think and give women what to do and how to do. Okay, the judge also agreed to the man because he was a man. He said, yes, you're right. Judge says, I did not think that, but yes, women's job is to execute. Man's job is to think and come up with good ideas. But she fought tooth and nail. Fortunately, she saved every piece, how she started designing, from designing A to designing B. She took the entire thing and she went, and everyone had to agree that it was her original idea because she had the proof. And when the man was asked to defend his, he had nothing except that he's a man. That was the qualification he had. But she didn't give up. She's a woman. That also, she didn't give up. And ultimately she was awarded the patent. Of course, not she was not compensated, and her was, I did not do this for money. I did this because I was a woman, and womanhood should be somewhere strong enough to stand what she created and how she created for the dignity of womanhood. I wanted to give back to the womanhood, to my company's women folk, the dignity that we need, we did not, but we do not have. Only for one dignity she fought. Imagine. This is what it is. Next story. Any questions till here? Any questions? Can you all recognize her? Huh? No, not Kalpana Chawla. Because she's like, yeah, she's a living legend. Yeah, very good. Arunima Sinha. Arunima Sinha. Now, why Arunima Sinha, her name is, why she is a celebrity, a living legend. She comes from a humble family, very humble family. She was traveling in a train, and someone robbed her chain and a bag. She wanted to save the little money that she had, but what the robber did was, from a running train, he threw her. He threw her, and her leg got amputated, cut. Whole night she was in between Delhi and somewhere, she was lying there, profusely bleeding. In the morning she came. By the time she came, she was totally exhausted. Blood had already gone, drained down her body, and she was absolutely in a sorry state. She was taken to a government hospital. They were given her medicine and all, but they could not save the leg. They had to cut her the limb. And she became handicapped for her life. And people were giving and sympathizing, pitying her. And that's in one of those, the most vulnerable moments, she said, I do not want this. I want support. I don't want pity. I don't want sympathy. And by the time she just stood, on second day she went to Bachendri Pal and said that, I want to climb Mount Everest. And Bachendri Pal was shocked to see, with an artificial leg, she's come and she wants to climb Mount Everest. But the look in her eyes and the fire in the belly forced Bachendri Pal to say that. Can anyone read it up, please? So this is it. All of us who are here, we need to climb our own Mount Everest, which is here. Once we conquer our Mount Everest, other Mount Everests are dwarfs. Do you all agree? It is only we, I as an individual can do. We as women folk, we can have together and do. These are all islands. So what I want to share is, we, Indian Women's Convention is also an island. It's an island. I would like the Lees to come here, please. Yes. Please give a big round of applause to him. We all are here because of him. I think you all can do better. There is sumptuous lunch coming. Okay. What I'm telling is how we are here. We are here because of him. I know him from the time he started Women's Convention. I have seen it is his drive to give the power to us women so that we do not remain islands of excellence. You know what is happening here in India is this woman is doing this brilliant job. That woman is doing that brilliant job. Here you are doing this brilliant job. We all are islands of excellencies. Imagine if we islands of excellency come together and we become mainstream excellent India. Won't we really be a brilliant shining India of today? Why always we say of tomorrow? Why can't we be today? Do you all agree with me? So are you all ready to really hold each other and be part, a living part, a participative part of Indian Women Convention? Ready? Yes, I'm deaf. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to me quite in an engaging way, in a participative way, and helping me to set the mode for today's convention. Gratitude to each one of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this session. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to India's first corporate news channel. We invite interviews, articles, press releases from your organization. Visit our portal www.indianconventions.com. Thank you.